Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Slime Boss here, and as you guys know, I've been planning on making a video for quite some time now regarding some PlayStation products that I have recently purchased. And the reason why I couldn't do so is because I literally couldn't have the best results possible for the devices that I had gotten. So a little bit of a preface before I begin. I have been mostly a Nintendo person my whole life. I've never really stepped into the realm of PlayStation. I played a fair few PlayStation games. I have played Kingdom Hearts in the past, and I've played a little bit of Ratchet and Clank way back when I was incredibly young. And so now I was recently gifted a PS5, about recently as in like a year ago, and I wasn't able to fully appreciate and do everything that the PlayStation 5 was capable of offering, just because at the time I really wasn't interested in playing specific PlayStation 5 games, and ultimately I was really waiting to stream them. So there's a couple of experiences that I've missed out on over the years that I know that I was interested in, and I just decided to ignore them in the past year, so I'm finally going to dive into them. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that I finally got the controller that I've been wanting to play with. This isn't like specifically a PS5 review, but just letting you know that I'm now actually diving into the PlayStation 5 and what it has to offer, because I've had it for an entire year and all I've been using it for is the Fortnite box, which isn't necessarily a good thing. But the products that I have purchased is what you can probably see it back there, the Elite controller right there, and of course the PlayStation Portal. I'm really excited about this because even though I didn't necessarily have any big regular PlayStations, I did have a PS Vita, although again I used it as a Minecraft box rather than anything, because at the time there wasn't a Switch version of Minecraft. But I have always loved PlayStation handhelds, and this isn't a bad alternative. Now, of course, this isn't a dedicated handheld. This is a streaming device, and I will say your mileage may vary with this. I saw a review of the PlayStation Portal by our friends at GVG. Steve Bowling did an amazing review of the product, but I wasn't really sure of like the capabilities of it, and was it really worth it for me? And let me tell you, it wasn't at the time. I recently was gifted this for Christmas this year, a few months ago at this point when this video is releasing, and I tried it out, and surprisingly, there wasn't any input lag, but there was a hell of a quality drop, and at that point, there's no reason to even use it, and the only times I was ever going to really use my PlayStation was at my computer. And it wasn't really that good, and I was I was a little worried with it, and I was worried that I was never going to be able to use it, and I would just have this cool thing sitting on my shelf that I won't be able to use. Another thing I should say is that, why would you buy it anyway if you're only going to play PlayStation 5s at your desk? Because that's not necessarily true. I've mostly, at that point in time, I was like, okay, well, I'm probably not going to ever play it if the quality is this bad, because the point of having a PlayStation over a Switch is the quality is that much better. There's a lot of games that I could be playing on Switch, but now that I have a PS5, I might as well play them on the PS5, right? And so the reason why I have this is because I still want that portable nature of it. In my previous videos, I've explained that I've wanted a solution to the Joy-Con because they're too small for my hands and they're not very much that comfortable. And so we talked about the Nexi GameCube controllers, which I thought was a fine solution. So that's the solution for the Switch. What about taking my PS5 games on the go? And now you can't completely take your PS5 games on the go, right? This is a streaming device. You need internet connection to do so, but I've found that the quality and the input is actually incredibly good. So the footage that you're seeing on screen is just me simply playing, just to show the quality and the audio quality that you might be hearing a little bit. And then I also showed me leaving my desk and going out into the living room and testing it out, as well as on the counter. And then I also have some extra footage of me playing it at another location and that was incredibly enticing for me, especially if another location has good internet. You won't be able to necessarily play it at like the airport, let's say, or at a McDonald's. You do need at least a decent connection, and your PlayStation also needs to be at a decent connection as well. So as long as your Wi-Fi at home is good, you're probably going to have a decent experience, but you also have to have good internet where your PlayStation Portal is going to be, otherwise it won't even connect to your PlayStation. Now, if you're wondering how that's even possible, one, you need to leave your PlayStation in rest mode at home, and then once that's done, connect to the internet with your Portal at any location, so probably a hotel will be fine, and you're just able to play your PlayStation games on the go, and it's actually incredible. And again, the footage that I'm showing on screen is just how much that quality, like, there was no quality drop whatsoever. It was a little bit, it was like, say, 720p. I'm not sure if this goes up to 1080p or not, but the quality was just outstanding, and you're not really losing anything by playing this on the go. And so I will be definitely taking advantage of this if I want to do some side quests on my own, or just to play Minecraft. Honestly, I might play Minecraft a lot on this, just because it's so easy, and the Switch version does not really run the best. So having this is a great solution for that. And not to mention, if I ever go to my dad's house, I will be able to continue to play my PlayStation 5 games there as well. So not only am I not locked to my desk here at home, but I'm also able to take it on the go. And I'll definitely keep you guys posted if I do decide to check it out at a hotel or something like that. But man, the quality is just absolutely amazing here, and what's on display here is just absolutely incredible. And the biggest thing, again, especially when I tested it out at my previous house, I'd moved, and the Wi-Fi wasn't as great there. Somehow, some way, there wasn't any input lag. If any, it was very, very minimal. I've had a couple of drops here or there. Again, your mileage may vary depending on how good your internet is. I have fiber 6 internet here. At the previous house, I only had 2.5. So again, it really depends on what sort of internet connection that you have. For me, right now, it's actually really great. But I've had some drops. You know, you are going to experience some drops. And so basically, the extent of it was that it's almost like your controller was disconnecting, which is incredible, insane to say. It dropped down to like 144p for very briefly, but it instantly kicked back up. And it's pretty stable most of the time. I experienced very minimal frame drops. And the controls, if anything, it prioritizes controls. So if, you know, for whatever reason you do have a frame drop, or your connection is a little slow, or if, you know, for whatever reason it drops down to 144p, you still have excellent connection with the device itself. Basically saying that, again, you're basically like using a controller. And again, similar thing happened when I was at my dad's house, miles and miles away from my mom's and my PlayStation here, is that the controls were always working, although the quality suffered a little bit. And that's absolutely incredible. And honestly, as someone who plays Nintendo games, on a Nintendo Switch, which isn't as powerful, I didn't mind it that much. And again, of course, it'll go back up to 1080p or whatever, and I'm still able to see those games for what they're worth. Again, the whole reason why to have this in the first place, instead of playing it on the Switch, is that to see those higher fidelity games, and that use, the technology that is in the PS5. And you're not missing out on much. Even if it dips a little bit for a short amount of time, it'll pick you back up, and you will not lose that much latency in terms of the controls, which is what is absolutely surprising to me. And yeah, now as for the controller itself, it's almost like doing a review of the DualShock, or the DualSense, right? And surprisingly, everything that's in a DualSense is in here. The HD rumble, the trigger, the feedback triggers, everything that you expect from a DualSense controller is in here. And that is the other thing that is incredible, is that the Switch kind of suffers on that front. The Switch has these Joy-Cons, which, although are incredible, honestly, like, being able to detach these would be probably a good next step, right? But there's a lot of loss that you get compared to the Joy-Con, compared to a Pro controller, right? You you lose that sense of comfortability, which is something that I've been searching for with the Nexi and the MOBA, I can't remember, the red controllers that I had showed you in the past. And although the comfortability was there, it's not the default solution. They're made by third-party companies, and so the Joy-Cons just feel so small. This just feels like I have a DualShock in my hand, and it's incredibly lightweight, and you know, not much really changes for me when I'm playing this, and it's incredibly comfortable. And again, I am very surprised that pretty much all of the tech that's in a DualSense is here. There's no compromises. You didn't, you know, downgrade to a DualShock 4 or anything. You're just here and you're playing, and it's great. And there's even like a microphone that's built into the controller. You can connect a you know, a wired mic, you know, a wired headset if you're playing online multiplayer games. You can connect the brand new wireless earbuds that they have just come out with. I don't know if you can connect the official PlayStation headphones. I'm not 100% sure on that, because I know that they changed their wireless system for this and the Slim model. So yeah, and then obviously the next thing is the display. Like I said before, once it's at max quality, it looks great, and it all depends on your internet connection. But in terms of the actual display itself, it's actually a lot better. I believe it is an LCD screen, not an OLED. So it's a lot better on that front, but it's also a lot better than the base model Switch, because man, that thing is chunky. For some reason, there's a thick layer of glass on the Switch, and it makes it look like a really cheap Android tablet. I couldn't tell you why they made that decision. That's why the OLED is just leagues better in terms of the portable quality. But this doesn't have that. It still has the LED screen. It doesn't have the OLED, or the LCD screen. So it's fine. Quality's fine. But it definitely leagues better than the base model Switch. However, I will say there's a very bad reflective nature to this, and that it's very hard to see, especially when you're playing darker games. And a lot of the PlayStation games, because they rely on that 4K, they, you know, unfortunately it suffers a little bit because of that. You know, in terms, like, you know, you can't really play. Even though I show an example of me playing Resident Evil here, I think that kind of proves my point, is that when you're getting any sort of sunlight reflection, you ain't gonna see anything at all. So best to play your brighter color games on this thing, or if you're at home, to be in a darker room. So there is a little bit of reflection there, but otherwise this is a great product, and I can't wait to, you know, actually play it, not for content. And in terms of me playing it off camera, I tested it out with a little bit of Minecraft, like I said, and Klonoa. So very Nintendo type games there. And Minecraft, I think, again, like I said, this is probably the best way to play Minecraft on the go. I never really was a huge fan of those phone case things. I used to record videos on those. They're not very good. And like I said, like, you know, Minecraft probably runs the greatest on PS5, other than, of course, PC. So I think this is the best way to experience that if you want to play it on the go. And you, of course, you can just switch back to the TV whenever you want. That's what's really great about this as well. And then Klonoa, that was a lot of fun as well. Klonoa is when I noticed probably the significant in terms of drop off. Again, it's a platformer. You kind of want to think with it. You gotta kind of pay attention to what you're doing. And I didn't really have any sort of input problems. Again, it was literally just every once in a while it dropped down to 144p and then it went back up. So honestly, again, this is very cool, very great product. But unfortunately, if you do not have either top of the line or whatever the standard is now, I don't even know what the standard is anymore, you aren't going to get the greatest quality. In fact, it is literally unplayable. So this is, again, like I said, this is a great product, but again, you have to be in the right circumstances for it. And that's what's unfortunate about it, is that you do have to be in the specific circumstances. And so, yeah, you know, sometimes I like to do ratings for this, but I think it's best to just sort of summarize my thoughts. Amazing product. I will definitely be making use of this. The screen is great. Again, unfortunately, there is a little bit of reflective nature to it, so if you have the sun on the screen, you won't be able to see much. The controller is great. The actual comfortability of it compared to the Switch is also fantastic. And of course, everything that's jammed in here is in the DualSense, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. And of course, when you do have that perfect connection, there is almost zero input lag, which is what I'm the most surprised about. And the quality does drop a little bit, but again, it depends on how good your Wi-Fi is or who was on your Wi-Fi, things like that. So your mileage may vary with that, but that's pretty much my thoughts on the brand new PlayStation Portal. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I will see you guys next time where we review that guy back there. So I will see you guys then.